What's going on, everybody? Episode 24. We are back with more things and things. And did I actually get rid of? I'm an idiot. I got rid of that. But episode 24. Before we do get started, we have a bunch of lovely Patreons that I need to shout out.
No, you can't.
We have.
Just kidding. Go ahead.
They give me money in exchange for sexual services.
A fair agreement.
So we got a bunch. If this would ever look, why does Patreon, dude? Patreon fucking the website sucks dick. We got Aquahana Maru, Articuno, Atlab Bullet Gamer, B-Rad the Man, Benjamin Richards, Brad Pittman, Brian Hahn, Caleb Roach, Clarence the Shark, Combat Caller 3, Comic Nerd 101, Dalton Peterson, Dr. Dopey, Fat Lucky Potato, Flayed Father, Game Changer Kid, Giovanni Diaz, Harry Hudson, Icy Storm, Jacob Waters, Jordan Boylan, Jorge Burgos, Joseph Hamlin, Local Car Mechanic, Mayall, OG Chief 1991, Plague Doctor 666, The Jafire, Trent Weaver, Trust Upgrades, Zach Anderson, Zero Offline, and Zombie Hunter. Shout out to you guys. Join the Patreon down below if you want naked photos of me. Or join Tim's Patreon.
A lot of names.
Yeah. Or join Tim's Patreon.
Hi, guys.
Whenever he starts it.
Yeah, I'm going to start it when I start the podcast. I'm not going to start collecting money from people before I start fucking producing the content. yeah. Pay me 20 bucks a month. I haven't started shit yet.
That's what I would do. Be smart.
Yeah, so I had you probably saw my tweet, maybe not. I had the worst night of sleep of my entire life. I mean, I'm only 21. I haven't lived a long life, but my fucking God. I went to my friend's house last night, watched the Celtics playoffs, got aggressively drunk.
Then you drove home.
I unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, I did. And
drinking and driving.
Man, I crashed hard at I want to say 11, so it wasn't even that late. I woke up at 4. Oh my God, I fucking hate when this freezes. Hang on. That's obnoxious. I gotta like I said, I gotta plug an Ethernet cable up here. But yeah, so I ended up crashing at 11. I ended up waking up around 4 or 5 in the morning with just a pounding headache, the worst headache you could imagine.
Those are the worst when you wake up with that shit.
It's I literally could not fall back asleep because of it. I woke up in several different hot sweats from several different nightmares. Not even the same nightmare. I literally had 4 fucking separate nightmares.
Jesus.
It's just I fell back asleep. I'd fall back asleep for 20 minutes, have a nightmare, wake back up, just and it was awful.
What evil deity did you piss off?
I don't know, but basically from 4 to 6 a.m. it was just a flux of me waking up, falling back asleep, a pounding headache the entire time. I couldn't find any ibuprofen until I finally did at 8 in the morning.
Oh God!
And then I passed back out after, and then I slept a little bit more, and then I woke up, then I worked out, then I showered, then I went back to sleep. Then here we are. I was gonna go take another
nightmare.
Nap. Yeah. Well, the nightmare stopped, but I had to catch up on a lot of sleep basically this morning. Ended up wasting way more time than I wanted to.
Sounds like you had a lot of fun.
I was gonna nap again, but here I am. So I'm a little bit tired. My headache went away though. That's how my morning's been. How about you guys?
I woke up, took a shit, shaved, ate some food, and then came here. That's pretty much my mornings.
Sounds a lot more peaceful.
I don't have the hectic, chaotic mornings that you have, the fun ones.
Yeah, those are I don't even remember half of the shit that happened, to be honest. What about you?
How you do, man? How was your morning?
I woke up at 2 a.m. Sent a couple emails, called a couple hotlines over in Ukraine.
Now you're being evicted.
There's a family guest coming over for a week, so I'm getting booted out, and so I'm going with my grandparents for a week.
Well, hey, so here's your chance to walk a mile for $500 now. Now's your chance.
Mm-hmm.
Now you can do it, buddy.
You're gonna rub that salt in my wound.
Yes, I am. Until the day you fucking keel over. I'm gonna write that shit on your gravestone.
I'm just happy to be here. I didn't think it was gonna happen today. Between what happened to me this morning and the fucking constant fidgeting with like the time frames and everything because of how many people we try to get on. You know, it's if it were just 2 people, it would be obviously a lot easier. But when you're working with 5 different people's schedules, it's obviously very challenging to
you guys gotta support us
them
on Spotify, so that way I can pay these retards to be here, and then we have more incentive to actually be here. Do that.
You only want to be here if you're getting paid. If you're not getting paid, fucking log off.
I mean, that's life, man. That's how I do it. It's all about the bag.
It is true.
You get that money. Did you guys see this? I saw this earlier on Twitter when I was taking a shit. Mike Tyson, he was on a plane, and he just started.
Turbo retweeted it. I saw it.
He just
some kid was badgering him.
The shit out of him.
Mind you, this is how old is Mike Tyson currently? Is he like in his late 50s, early 50s? I think he's probably
in his
50s.
early 60s.
I mean, I got the power of technology right in front of me. Mike Tyson age. Mike Tyson is 55. He turned around and he fucking socked the shit out of this dumbass behind him. He's what was it, like probably not a private plane, obviously.
Looked like a public
if some
plane
motherfucker
or
recognized him, but like.
Oh, here it is.
How old was? Did it look like the guy that hit him? Or
must have been like late 20s.
Yeah, somewhere in his 20s.
All right.
So. You just don't fuck with Mike Tyson. He could be 80. He'll still fucking punch the shit out of you and break your jaw probably.
Yeah, I wouldn't feel confident about fighting Mike Tyson until he's at least in his...
Until he's literally
blind.
in a wheelchair, right? Like, until he's literally dying.
So, like, this dude kept he was drunk and just constantly heckling him.
And that's just so obnoxious, because, like, regardless of the fact that he was a fighter... You just don't do that to public figures. It's just it rubs me the wrong way. Like the motherfucker's just trying to go about his day and live his life normally, and here you are badgering the shit out of him. Yes, he's famous. Yes, he's like one of the most famous people in this country. Leave him alone. It doesn't even matter. Take a picture of him and send it to your friends. Then fuck off, right?
That guy deserved his ass beating.
Absolutely. I'm 100% behind that.
Did Tyson get arrested?
Who knows? Probably not.
I have no idea.
The cop was he probably would have pulled up and was like, "Oh my God, you're Mike Tyson."
I'm not arresting Mike Tyson. I just saw what he did to the guy on the plane.
Hang on, I've got a photo.
The good and the bad that comes with being Mike Tyson.
Mike.
Let's see.
There's a very famous photo after Mike Tyson bit the ear off of another fighter.
Yep.
Where the sheriffs moved in to detain him, and he put his fists up, and all the sheriffs, they backed off, and you can see it in their face.
I mean, I would too.
Mike Tyson.
Yeah, he bit it. I think his name was Evander Holyfield or something like that. And he just fucking bit. I mean, that guy he had a couple loose screws, obviously.
What do you do? Like, you're the guy that Mike Tyson just beat up on an airplane. Do you just, like, awkwardly sit there for, like, the rest of your hour on the flight? Like, what do you... It's like, oh, I just got beat up by Mike Tyson.
Yeah, Mike was probably just like, dude, go sit in the fucking bathroom for the rest of the flight. Don't even look at me. Don't even sit behind me.
It's gotta be, like, the most embarrassing shit. You get your ass whooped on an airplane, and then you have to just sit there behind the dude that did it for like the next hour.
Yeah, you just have to proceed as if nothing happened. Like you're sitting there with a fucking fat lip and a bruised eye, and then he's just carrying on his day like nothing happened at all.
Can I get granola bar?
There's been a couple instances where what's it called? Karens have gotten into they've been disruptive on flights. They've assaulted flight attendants, and when there's not an air marshal on board, they'll duct tape them to the seat.
I'm fine with that.
Wow.
You ever been on a plane with annoying people?
I saw another video on Twitter that was very similar. Well, it's not similar at all, but the fact that it's on a plane is the similar part. So I found it interesting. Like there was a group of like young people, and it's just a normal flight, like a fucking normal Delta flight. Everyone's just sitting there minding their own business, of course. And like a bunch of young Christian people who are sitting there clapping and like singing and like praise Jesus and shit like that. And they're like, that's fine. You can believe what you want to believe, and I won't get into the whole religion thing here. But like You don't like, could you imagine if the roles were reversed? Could you imagine if a fucking Muslim guy
Be funny
was
as
like,
shit.
praise Allah, yada yada. He's got like a tambourine. He's just
I thought
like,
you were about to say maracas.
dude, and then that guy gets fucking thrown out of the plane like
It's so
easily.
goddamn funny.
So it's just the double standard there is kind of shocking to me, like how people can sit there and take that. Like if I were on that flight and I saw these
no,
motherfuckers,
we're fighting.
like I would just like probably throw something at your face, and then
If
probably
I
not do
was on
anything
the
after
flight
that.
with Justin, I would have joined in on singing just to piss.
I would have
piss
hit
him
you.
off.
Like, dude, listen, don't fuck with me on
would've fucking thrown
airplane.
something at you too, dog.
Bro,
That's
I would have
just so obnoxious.
If you start breaking out into a Christian rock band on my flight, someone's getting assaulted. I don't see
If you
how
thought
anyone did it
clapping
fucking.
on a plane when it lands is bad. Imagine some fucking Christian
oh my
music,
God.
some Jesus music live too. It's not even
Someone's
like you
getting
can turn
hit.
the volume down.
I don't see how no one got
Exactly.
up and like did anything. They might have after the video, but like, how the fuck you about to let people Jesus like for plane rides are bad enough.
Yeah, I think maybe they were just outnumbered. Like not the whole flight, but like the people that probably cared to do something were probably outnumbered by how many of the fucking singers there were, and they were just probably like,
that
you know
guitar
what?
is getting broken.
It's not worth it. Yeah, I would assault somebody.
Oh my Jesus! Just fucking
That
hearing
is
some
obnoxious.
dumb cunt. Oh fuck, man.
Any
I'm
other
just
plane stories? I mean, I feel like every
Oh.
flight I go on is so normal.
Yes.
Like, just nothing weird happens. Cross my fingers.
Yes. So it's not particular with commercial flights. However, there is a former Olympic. Was he a snowboarder? He participated in the 2014 Winter Olympics at Sochi. FAA came out, confirmed he bailed out of a plane without any mechanical necessity, deliberately crashed his plane and bailed out of it with GoPros mounting about for YouTube views.
That's what you do, man. Is this the one guy you were telling us about forever ago?
Yep, and the FAA just published their report. Yep.
Is he going to
They
jail or
confirmed it.
something?
No, they pulled his license. I think they can give him a fine, but I don't know that they can arrest him over it.
So if I remember
Maybe
the story correctly, the guy was flying a plane and he wanted to make a viral video. He had GoPros all around the plane and he pretended like he had like a problem and he had to bail. And so he just basically said, "Hey guys, we gotta get out of here," and then he just jumps out of the plane and then like lets the plane crash into the woods or something.
That's exactly what happened.
Imagine getting fucking caught for that. What a jabroni. Should have done it in the water, idiot.
Jabroni is one of my favorite
and
words.
He
I love that
he
word.
filmed his own. He filmed, so he had flown previously on his YouTube channel, and surprisingly, on every other flight that's on there, he never flew with a parachute.
But the one time.
Yep. And then there's all sorts of other things like he brought extra water, extra supplies. He he made sure to dress for the environment that he planned on ditching in.
It's really stupid.
Yep.
I feel like if I was gonna fake it, like you gotta make it real. You gotta almost die. You gotta like jump
Have you
out like
almost
the
died?
last second. Load your plane
Have
up
you
with
ever
gas.
almost died for real, Justin? Has that ever happened to you? A near-death experience?
When I was a kid, like you ever just ran across the street when you were a kid without looking and almost got hit? That's happened a
Like
couple
real
times.
life Frogger.
Yeah.
Yeah. I couldn't think of one off the top of my head. Oh yeah, I could. I fucking made a storytime video on YouTube a while ago. I think I may have deleted it, but I'm not sure.
Story time.
I had basically like the synopsis here is that we had a can of gasoline, the kind that you put in your lawnmower, not in a fire. And my dumbass buddy decided to pour it directly in, and you know what happens with a stream of a stream of gasoline if it's
Yeah.
going directly into the fire. The fire can catch up the stream and then go into the can and fucking explode. And before that happened, my buddy slapped it out of his hand. The whole lawn caught on fire. A lot of people's fucking leg hairs were burned off. Like we all dipped, except
White
for
trash lawn
one
care.
kid who fucking grabbed a bucket of water and put it out. But yeah, basically, like 5 or 6 8th graders almost died that night because some dumbass decided to start pouring gasoline in the fire. That's the only like legitimate near-death experience I've ever had. That was like in 8th grade, so that was like 6 years ago, I think. So a long time ago.
You youngins.
And I would have never been able to be a zombies YouTuber if I died on that day.
We would have never have kissed in Vegas.
You would have never have gotten the top 5s or the naked unreleased content.
On his Patreon.
It's coming soon. You have to be a $50 per month tier for that. It's like OnlyFans, but it's basically OnlyFans.
Have you almost ever died, Manlet?
I have actually been dead. I have been dead. I think my heart stopped.
This explains so much right now.
Yeah.
Been dead, dude. What does the other side look like?
So, when I was 7 or 8 years old, actually, when I was really young, I used to have what are called febrile seizures. Well,
what's that? I don't know. I know what a seizure is, but I don't know what the first word of that was.
Febrile seizures are basically seizures that are generally found in infants all the way up to age 3 or 4, and then they generally stop. They're not epilepsy. Well, I randomly had one out of the blue when I was 7 years old. I was running a high fever, came home from school that day sick. I was freezing at the time, though I was running the fever. It just, when you feel like you're cold. So my father put me in a warm bath, left for a couple minutes to do the laundry. I ended up just kind of zoning out, and about 4 hours later, I woke up in the hospital, and apparently I had a seizure, and I basically went under the water, kind of stopped the breathing for 5 minutes or so, and paramedics were called, and I don't remember anything of it. It's just, at one point you're awake, and the next point you're waking up. It's like a dreamless sleep.
So which religion is right? Which one is the right one?
Personally,
Dude,
I'm atheist.
Could you imagine if just one religion was right, and it just happened to be like Judaism, for example, or it just happened to be fucking like that is so fucking that's a dumb concept to me. Like the fact that like there's so many different religions, one of them has to be right.
Which one? I gotta know. I'm placing my bets here, man. I'm trying to go to the goody place.
No, watch it ends up being Satanists who have it right.
Honestly, before I die, I'm just gonna accept every religion into my heart. And just think, fingers crossed. Might as well up your little chances.
That is, if you put too much into too many different baskets, then you're not, if basically the way I think most religions work is you got to put all your eggs in one basket. Like you got to fully dedicate your fucking life to Christ or whatever figure.
From what I know, Jesus, as long as you say I'm sorry and I accept you right before you die, you're Gucci, man.
As long as you don't have premarital sex.
You think Osama bin Laden was forgiven?
If he was according to religion, if he was like, I'm sorry, Jesus, I love you.
Dude, do you think sleep is a way to mentally prepare us for death over time? Because sleep is in theory, the exact same experience, obviously without the dreams.
I think it's kind of like before you were born. Do you remember any of that?
No, exactly.
That's what death's like.
That's
as far as we know. That is what it's like, unless the entrance into this life is different than the exit for whatever reason. But if we're just gonna assume that it's the same thing, I mean that's what it is.
Which low-key sucks. Don't you wish heaven or okay, well first of all
that's what faith is. That's why religion exists.
Yeah, the Bible heaven
sucks.
Fucking sucks because apparently you're just praising God. You don't go to the goody place and get to fuck bitches all day. You just got to go up there and worship God all day. That's apparently what it's like from the Bible, I think. So that fucking heaven sucks. But my version of heaven is you get to do whatever you want. And I wish that was real. I wish my religion that I just made up in my mind right now was real.
So maybe it's just a blissful feeling. You're just a spirit and it's just a feeling of eternal bliss, sort of. But nothing is actually happening. You're not physically doing anything. You're just this aura. And maybe that's what heaven is as a concept is. I don't want to get into all this religion shit. I'm not trying to piss off people.
It'd be nice if it was real though. Get to go up there, eat some ice cream whenever you want. Don't gain weight.
Oh, no doubt. Who wouldn't love to be able to go see loved family members and, or even if, from your point of view, let's say your past pets,
Hell yeah.
I don't ever want to see some of those pets though ever again. Some of them.
You
some
cut
of them I
my
do.
balls off.
Some of them crossed me. Anyways, continue.
What, jeez, Tim. I don't know that I've ever been, such, how shall I say, crossed by my dog or something like that.
No, not a dog. I don't want to get into it.
Killed?
Gotcha.
Dude, I had a guinea pig that I feel like every experience I've had with a guinea pig is a horrible experience. I hate most of the I've had probably like 3 or 4 guinea pigs in my life. One of them was good. Like one of them was well behaved. The rest of them were fucking
animal.
dirty rodents that murdered their own kids. They had kids, smothered them all. And then I had guinea pigs earlier in my life. That was more recently. I had guinea pigs way earlier in my life. And one of them literally, with its fucking sharp ass teeth, attached itself, bit my older brother on his fucking finger, like clung onto his hand. My older brother's like freaking out. I don't even know how this all broke down. I don't know how this started. Basically, the guinea pig was out and then it bit my brother's hand and he's waving him around freaking out. And then he throws him across the room and he fucking slides across the whole room, knocks over a cup of coffee. And it's just, so this fucking feral rodent is just fucking drenched in coffee and has fucking some blood on its face. And it's just like, I'll never get that image out of my head. Like that guinea pig, I would never want to see again if there was an afterlife. That thing can fucking burn in hell.
It's like I'm trying to feed you and keep you alive, you piece of shit.
Yeah, so it didn't attack me, but it attacked my brother, and I can't get that image out of my head. But anyways, yeah, fuck guinea pigs. Dogs, cats, they're all cool though.
Though I will say, my first dog was it had a rough life, but was a bit of a interesting character. Ended up biting off about an inch, about 1/4 of an inch of its own tail. So that was interesting to come home to when you're 7 or 8 years old, and needless to say, it's
your dog might have been retarded.
Yeah, like father, like son, apparently.
I've heard the fucking like the snake eating its own tail thing, but I don't know how a dog eats its own fucking, like, physically chomps and rips apart its own tail. That is shocking, actually. What kind of dog?
Maltese.
Is it a big one? Oh, so it's a small one.
Yep.
Okay.
So it's a rat.
Makes a little more sense because I feel like that would be more achievable. I was thinking of like a golden retriever, like a big ass dog, like ripping apart its tail. I'm just thinking like, oh my god.
No,
that's
so
horrifying.
Yeah.
So what happened was what we believe happened, at least, is we got it from a pet store, but it was pretty obvious that it came from a puppy mill. And we think that when Oliver was a newborn pup, another puppy bit his tail, and it was essentially crinked for the first 1.5 years of his life that he still had the entirety of it. And he was always gnawing on it, and even in some photos, his fur is all chewed off. And then when I came home one day, I want to say 7 or 8, and no, I may have been a little bit older, but I still had a babysitter at the time. We had came home from Panera Bread and walked into my room, and it looked like a murder scene.
Oh, God.
So, but no, I'm very thankful that he surprisingly pulled through that, and he had another good, I want to say, 5 or 6 years after that.
Wow.
So.
That's good.
Tim, is
Dude, we
that
went from
a giant thing of double bubble in the background?
I'm so glad you asked. I was waiting for someone to notice that.
Is that just a giant tub of double bubble?
300 pieces of gum in here. Well, there's a lot less now, but yeah. It's just like you know what fucking sucks about this gum? Like,
it's
this shit lasts
10
for
seconds.
15 seconds.
Yeah.
Like you chew it you chew it 20 times and it's just done.
Why? Why would you buy that?
I don't know. You know what? I thought I knew it wasn't a great investment, but it wasn't that expensive either. So I was just like, you know what, fuck it. I was literally just like, I think I was just drunk one night and I was just like, you know what'd be cool? Like 300 pieces of gum that will bring me zero joy because, well, they'll bring me some joy, but for 10 seconds at a time. But yeah, just one of the many investments I've made for this office space.
One of the many drunk Tim late night buys.
Purchases. Yeah, I tend to do that kind of stuff occasionally. But you know what? At least I didn't buy an overly expensive car or some dumb shit with my money. I'm very responsible with my money.
Yeah,
but this gum was a really irresponsible choice in hindsight.
It looks really, yeah. Why? How much was it?
Like $15.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, I got it on Amazon. It got delivered like less than a day later. I swear to God, Amazon literally delivers shit. Like Lisa ordered bed sheets, and she got them on the same day. On the same day, like I didn't even know that was possible. Amazon doing that shit.
That's a new thing. I ordered something recently, and yep, same day. Which
they're getting faster, more efficient, which is like good, but kind of scary in a way.
It really is. You know, if God forbid,
feelings about that.
Yeah, God forbid there was, let's say there's another pandemic 20, 30 years down the road, that if there's another supply chain disruption and everybody's accustomed to same day delivery, the 20, 30 years ago, it was not out of the norm for things to take 4 to 6 weeks to get delivered. If you remember those as seen on TV commercials, please allow 4 to 6 weeks. Now everybody wants it, lickety split. And, when it's no longer available that quickly, that's when, things, get a little crazy.
Yeah, if I order something on Amazon and it's like, it's not going to be here for a week, I'm like, nah, never mind. I don't even want it anymore. It's not even worth it. I don't even want it.
Yeah, dude, I tried to order like Joy-Cons one time and it's like, this will be here in a month. And I'm like, nope, cancel. I'll literally walk to GameStop. I'll get there faster. All right, so we're going to do a little experiment, guys. All right, I have one piece of Double Bubble. It is watermelon flavored. I have a stopwatch.
Oh,
I'm going to put this in and I'm going to stop the stopwatch when it completely runs out of flavor. It's probably going to be longer than fucking actually
I'm gonna give
15
it
seconds. Let's take some guesses here. I won't lie.
50,
I'm not going to like
52 seconds.
52. Okay. All right. Ready? I'm going to just start chewing it and press start. All right now. All right.
I can't.
So just continue on with the conversation. And when it runs out of flavor, I'll be actively chewing over here. Hopefully it's not too loud or obnoxious.
Double Bubble was like that shit like your teacher has like in the classroom, like, oh, you got the answer right, and it's like stale as fuck, and you're like, breaking your fucking teeth with it. I hate that shit. Or it's like
how many gold stars did you get?
I was a good noodle growing up. I was a very good noodle.
Okay, sure.
Dude, I was too. I never got in trouble, honestly, until high school. And then I started
getting in trouble. Fights all the time when I was.
You were the last person that I would think that of.
So this was up until about third grade.
Yeah, you go.
Yeah, I was. Let's just put it that Manlet was even more retarded, significantly.
I don't know if that's possible.
Yeah, no, really.
All right, it's done. 57 seconds.
Damn, I was close.
It's out of flavor.
Did you say 56 or 52?
57. 57.8. So
now just
that's how long this gum is flavorful. Now it's fucking actual waste, and I'm gonna
swallow it.
I'm gonna meticulate now. I'm not a window licker, dude. I'm not gonna do that.
Do it.
All right.
That's offensive to us window lickers. Calculator.
Might be. All right. I'll take one for the road here. I'm gonna grab grape, which is the best.
What other flavors? Like watermelon, grape.
Standard, and then there's apple, green apple.
Oh, yeah.
The standard is probably like just you can't go wrong with the classic. The grape is pretty good. The other two are fucking dog shit.
Oh yeah. Fuck green apple. Shit to your flavor.
Yeah, exactly. With Jolly Ranchers too.
Oh, yeah.
Grape Jolly Ranchers or blue raspberry Jolly Ranchers.
Blue raspberry.
Goated.
That's my shit.
Yeah.
I don't even really like Jolly Ranchers that much, but I'll fuck with some blue raspberry ones.
Tastes like blue, bitch.
So mainly you were saying you were retarded?
Oh yeah. No, sorry, I was just doing the math on how much 300 his gum is per unit. It's 5 cents, so you're getting.
So some poor Chinese woman made not even a cent off of all that. How do you feel about that, Tim? You feel good about yourself?
All that gum?
Yeah. Some
Well,
poor
not
even a
Chinese
cent.
woman. She made probably half a penny. A penny.
Well, you know what?
No, not even that. That would be for it to come from China. It would have to be, fractions of a penny.
Dude,
She can't feed her
think their
family now
current-
because of you.
Is a penny in our country worth as much as it is there? Isn't it worth more there, technically?
Worth like 5 cents. I don't fucking know.
Probably.
Who
No,
knows?
it does cost the U.S. government more to actually print and mint a penny than it does in value. There's a pretty big
Oh.
zinc lobby.
Doesn't surprise
Okay.
me.
Well, yeah, I don't feel bad for the Chinese people. I mean,
She
I
can't
do,
feed
but
her kids
I
now.
don't. I mean,
'Cause
it's
of
all
you.
just like a geographical sort of like wherever the fuck you're born, and you're either screwed or you're not, like in our case.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be where I am at, and I'm grateful, But, like, if I were born in China, I'd fucking probably hate myself, so.
You could have been born a woman in China and just got axed right off the start. They still doing that?
Dude, are you thinking? I was thinking of that Family Guy clip where the fucking where Death shows up. He's like, girl. Chinese. Oh my god. Oh, that's really sad when you think about it, though.
Classic China.
Yeah.
Aren't they like getting another dose of like COVID or something? Aren't they all dying over there, like trapped in their houses?
Yep, that's Shanghai.
I'm gonna like have a hot take here, guys. I think I just cashed that, by the way.
No, you didn't. I didn't see it.
Yeah, I did. I went 2 for 2. The first one was a bank shot. The second one wasn't. I have a
You
little
lie to me,
trash bin
Tim.
over there.
I'm not gonna believe it.
Do you want me to whip my camera off of this thing and fucking
Yes.
show you? That would be way too much. It'd be way too much work to set it back up. What was I saying?
You don't feel bad?
I got a hot take. Not really that high, not that hot, but like this whole coronavirus thing. Now in hindsight, a couple of years removed, like there's some like I wasn't one of these guys that was like it's fake, it's not. Like I've been vaccinated. Like I believe in it. I know people that have been directly affected by it. And with all of that said, I definitely still think something fucking fishy is going on with it. Like a lot of that shit.
One of us, join the
like
club.
It's just. I mean, there's like legitimate evidence too to suggest that people were taking advantage of it. I mean, with hospitals literally accepting fucking loans and grants of tens of thousands of dollars if they're over-diagnosing COVID when it could have been flu or any other respiratory thing. So, I mean, there's legitimate evidence to suggest that, like, there's real corruption with it, like, attached to it, because there's money involved. And I do think that the whole mandate and now, like, suddenly no more mandate, like, I don't know, it didn't really feel fully consistent, you know what I mean? It felt like for a little while they wanted to grab us by the balls and have 100% control of us, but now it's just like,
it's all politics.
Okay, does it not exist anymore? Like, is it just gone? Like, because no one's fucking wearing masks. It's not a mandate anymore, even in like major cities for the most part. Like, I'm pretty sure New York, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure New York lifted their mandate, you know what I mean? So it's just like it's just a big confusing fucking mess, and it wasn't a very consistent process, and I get it, like it's a whole big new thing, and so it's not going to be like a smooth process, but I don't think that, like, when I look at the way how it happened, where it happened, and how everyone in the world handled it, you start to look at it in hindsight now, and you're kind of like,
man, we wasted 2 years of our lives.
A lot of people were trapped in their
bullshit.
homes too, and a lot of people fucking killed themselves and fucking got divorces because they don't know what it's like to be at fucking home. Like, dude, the suicide rates in this country skyrocketed. I'm not even fucking joking. And alcoholism got really bad again. Like, a lot of people were drinking to cope with staying at home all day. Like, it's crazy how like much of a negative impact it actually had.
What kind of fucking
on people's everyday
loser
lives.
turns to out like, oh, I gotta stay home all day with my TV and all my food and my PlayStation.
We look at it differently because we're
alcoholism."
YouTubers, dude. We love this shit. Like, we love being at home and doing this shit. But some people hate it. Like, some
porn
people need to be like
24/7.
on the move, out. And listen, I'm with you, but there are definitely people out there that need to be like on the go, need to be out and like being physical. I mean, it's not like you can't work out at home or anything like that.
I did hate the gyms closing. I was very, very offended by that.
And barbershops too.
I don't use those.
I mean, I have my father-in-law fucking cuts my hair anyways, but still, like, yeah, it was a big fucking confusing mess, frankly.
Yeah.
And it just never added up, in my opinion. Now that I'm looking at it in hindsight, like, throughout the whole process, I've been very cooperative. I'm not, like, anti-vax at all. I very much believe in vaccinations, and I believe in most of it, but it felt very fishy.
I think I'm the only one. You guys are both vaccinated, right?
Only got the first shot.
Well, then it doesn't work anymore, Tim.
Oh,
You gotta get the 18th booster. What are you doing?
I gotta go fucking spend money on fucking a shot every month, like to. Even though dude, I swear I'm not even just saying this. I think I've literally had COVID like multiple times, and I just didn't get it confirmed. Like, I never took the test because I'm not shoving a fucking swab down my nose. I will literally die before that happens.
That was the worst. Have they ever done that to you?
They tried. Lisa did it, and I was like, I'm not doing that shit. If I have COVID, if you have COVID, then I have COVID, and the kids have COVID, and we're all gonna have COVID anyway. So if you test positive, then I'm positive too. So like, I just never wanted to do that.
I had it done, I think, twice.
Awful.
You can tell kind of like when you have it. It's either that or the flu. Or something like it, because you wake up and you feel like death. You feel like you're 50 pounds heavier. You feel like your whole, like, I don't know. You could just tell. Like, I felt like I had it at least once, but I'm okay now, or maybe I'm not. I don't fucking know. Is it a man-made virus?
I do believe it was made in that Wuhan lab, and I will stand by that.
I mean, that's the story. That's the idea.
Not no fucking bat.
Yeah, fucking bat soup gone bad. I don't think that's it. I don't know if I.
No, I think some woman. It was definitely a woman. Didn't do her job right and let it escape. It's definitely definitely a woman.
Like Typhoid Mary, dude. That bitch that was making sandwiches and then dishing them out to everybody.
That dumb whore.
She was patient zero, and she just dished out a fucking unknown disease or virus to everybody. Fuck
that bitch.
Can't blame her though. She was doing her God-given role in life, and making sandwiches.
That's what God put him on here to do. Notice, man, like me and Tim are ragging on women, and we're both married. You're not, and you're not.
You respect women?
Yeah, you can't respect. You gotta treat them like dirt. They like it.
Dude, I'm gonna get slapped in the face one day. Like, if I'm walking down the street, someone's gonna see my face and be like, "Aren't you that kid that fucking smacked me right in the face?" I'm gonna be like, "Goddamn!"
Nah,
but I can't hit them back because I respect
like to be
women.
less. They know, because it's like caveman times. They want to be treated less than. They want to feel beneath us men. They want to feel protected. You know.
Well, it is natural order.
Yeah, it's just caveman DNA, man.
That is evolution. Although today, modern times sort of muddied that all up. Now everything's different.
Is Lisa a good cook? I feel like she is.
Yeah, she's phenomenal.
I feel like that's like the staple of a good woman, is that they can cook good.
She's not like I didn't mean to.
Well, you're not like a fucking 5-star Gordon Ramsay over here.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no, not bad at all. Definitely not. Why, is Heather a good cook?
Yeah, I feel like that's like the staple of a good woman, is that they're really good cooks. I've never met a woman that can cook really well that's like a piece of shit.
They don't have to be great cooks. They just can't be bad, in my opinion. You know what I mean? They can't just be like worse. They can't be awful at it. Like, you got to be able to do a little bit more than like throw a lasagna in the oven. You know what I mean? Like, in my opinion.
Yeah, whip me up some fucking shit that I can't pronounce.
Yeah, some foreign fucking Italian cuisine.
Let me eat that shit off your ass.
On the other end of the spectrum, my mother set off the smoke detectors today by she was putting toast in the toaster.
Oh, okay, let's be honest. Who hasn't done that? I've done that so many times. Like, the toast just starts burning for no reason.
After the first time.
Look at bullshit. Dude, you put toast in there and it starts burning.
I've only done that. I burned a pizza so bad. I fucking left it in the oven and walked away and like.
Didn't you get high as shit and forget about it?
Oh, I don't know if that was me, but maybe it was one of my friends. I don't know. But
It was
yeah,
so high he doesn't
I
know.
burnt the shit out of a pizza. It was like
I
it
think I
looked
remember
like a
you
pizza at
texting us
first,
this.
and then like 30 minutes later, like 45 minutes later, that thing was a fucking black charred like disc, like a fucking like a literal frisbee that you could just throw.
Yeah, I think
Like,
I remember you
it was
texting us
rock
this. Like
solid.
you got so high you forgot about the pizza.
I think it was a pepperoni DiGiorno pizza. I think that
Dude,
I'm
it
thinking
deserves
about
to
it.
burn. That shit's disgusting.
The only good DiGiorno pizza I've ever had, and it was really good. They had croissant crust. It was buttered croissant crust, and it had cheese in it. It was stuffed as well.
Oh, croissant
like-
is fucking goated.
It was fucking phenomenal. But yeah, most frozen pizzas, not particularly great.
They're dog shit. Just go to an actual pizza place and get an actual pizza. Fucking DiGiorno. It's so gross.
Yeah, the only pizza places I have near me are all like, for the most part, they're just like, they're not like mom and pa pizza places. They're like chains like Domino's and Little Caesars and stuff, and they're good, but they're very hit or miss. You go in there, you get like a 10 out of 10 pizza one day. You go in there the next, and it's a fucking flat, like just piece of shit pie that you. It's not like I'd rather like sometimes when I get a Little Caesars pizza that's been sitting there for like an hour or two. I get it, and it's just like so bad. I'm like, I think I'd rather throw it out than eat it sometimes. But then like sometimes you get it, and it's like the best shit ever. That's the problem with the big corporate chains.
If like you and a bunch of friends are out like just like playing paintball or something all day, and someone's like, "Let's get a pizza," and you're like, "What's gonna get here fast and is cheap as shit?" It's like you have to be actively like doing something and just need food right then and there. That's the only time it's ever good.
Yeah, they have good sides though too, but no one ever orders those because they're not like the quick pizzas that they promote. You know, the ones you go in and grab right away. They're not hot and ready, so no one gets the sides. Domino's is the same way.
You know,
now you go.
The hot and ready, just I don't know, it just popped in my head. The amount of food that grocery stores, that restaurants, not even just fast food, just restaurants in general, that they throw out every day is astonishing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, grocery stores too. Oh my god, it's a lot.
Yeah, and it's really just a logistical issue. It's not that they wouldn't necessarily want to not donate it. It's just how do you get it from point A to point B when, not necessarily costing them more than it would be just throw it out.
Yeah,
Math.
yeah, it's just the easier sort of. There's always that argument like, what about the starving kids in third world countries? Yeah, well, I mean,
Get a
these groceries,
job.
these stores aren't gonna fucking like spend the extra money to go like
bums.
ship over a bunch of groceries like to a different country across the ocean. Like, it's just one of those sad things that they kind of like for the most part have to just throw that shit out, and it does suck, but
Just get a job. Go
Yeah, I
fucking
mean-
get a fucking minimum wage job and don't fucking sit there and hunt for berries all day. Whatever the fuck
Yeah.
they eat.
yeah, whatever the fuck
They
eat,
build their
man.
fucking houses in the middle of nowhere. Go build it where the food is. Go build it next to a Walmart or something.
Or a Pizza Hut.
Yeah. Oh, you fucking build out in the middle of a desert.
Pizza Hut's good, by the way. Really cheesy, but really good.
I always ask for
nonetheless.
light cheese on my Pizza Hut.
Yeah, because they
And their
double down
cinnamon
on that shit.
sticks. Oh, so fucking good.
I don't know if I've tried those,
Dude,
but
you gotta
next
get
time
them.
I go.
Like they have either cinnamon sticks or the cinnamon bun rolls. They're both
Hey,
fucking
dude,
great.
I think I think you're literally. I think I might order Pizza Hut
Dude.
for dinner.
I have to make dinner tonight, but I
know.
might like get some Pizza Hut for lunch.
Now that we're talking about it, I'm like, ooh.
I too have been thinking about it.
Like I might have to go order me some Pizza Hut.
Pizza Hut specifically. Like, I'm not gonna go get fucking Little Caesars. Like, Pizza
Little
Hut
Caesars.
sounds like a banger move right now.
I was thinking
contemplating
Jets
it.
Pizza, which is down the road.
I'm not a fan of Jets.
I don't even know what that is.
Like a
Is that like a local place for you, or
Yeah.
is that a?
No, because
Okay, yeah,
we had one in Kentucky too.
Really?
Wow,
Yeah.
yeah, I've never
Well,
heard of that. But
And it's
Don't they do Chicago
probably
style,
smart.
right? Like those deep dish.
Yeah, it's nothing like Uno's Chicago. That is the best Chicago style in my opinion. But I think, at least around me, Jets is probably one of the highest, at least I've tried.
Tim, when you come down here, you're gonna love it. There's like 20 mom and pop pizza places around here. Like, we haven't even tried them all yet.
Yeah.
There's so fucking many.
You know what else? I don't know if you'd ever want to make another trip up to the Northeast, but
I don't know.
we could go to New York and get some authentic New York slices. Because that shit hits different than anywhere else in the world.
I always told myself I would never go to New York and California.
Well, you know what? Fair. If that's what you want to do, then I will not push
I will
back
go
on
to
that.
the border of New York, and you guys are gonna have to run me a pizza over.
Dude, we can go to when we go to California. You don't have to go to California. You can just stand in the desert in Nevada, and we'll just
be
run
fine
you
with
over a
that.
fucking.
It's, crazier things. So there's this little pizza place in Rhode Island that is really good. It's kind of famous throughout the state. It's Caserta's Pizza. And my grandparents, who moved out of the state, they went down to Florida back in the 90s. Every so often, they can order through Caserta's. They can have calzones shipped in dry ice, and
not the same,
overnight
though.
it down to you.
It's never the same. Mainly because you guys are. So we're all from up north. Do you guys know what a steak hoagie is?
A hoagie?
Like a steak
Like
hoagie. Can you order a steak hoagie from Domino's?
I don't know.
Up north.
They call them where I am at currently. They call them subs, but
That's not what
like
it
a
is.
hoagie is more of a New York thing. I think.
Like,
I
you
think
mean
if
a
you go to
steak
New
and
York now,
cheese?
No, it's so hard to explain because like it must be like a
All the
fucking
same shit,
Cincinnati only thing because I've never seen it anywhere else. Let me see if I can find it.
a steak hoagie. So just like a beef and like fucking provolone sub basically, but they'll call it a hoagie. Even though it's like the same thing. They're just synonyms for each other, I believe.
Maybe, but I've never seen.
I'm not hip to the culture of sandwich. I'm not like hip to sandwich culture. I get the same sub from the same place every time, and it's Jersey Mike's, and that shit slaps. And I never go anywhere else.
Good pictures of it. That's not it. It's like one thing of meat with marinara sauce and cheese and shit. Where's a good fucking picture of it? That's not it. Yeah, let me find it. Because when I first moved down here, it's not a thing down here. I called Domino's. I was like, "Yo, let me get a steak hoagie." They're like, "A fucking what?" I'm like, "Oh, you don't have those down here." Oh, I feel like
Yeah, and then they just sit there and they try to guess what you're talking about. Like, do you mean a steak sandwich or like, and then you end up hanging up the phone because you feel like shit.
pretty much. All right,
Yeah, I don't know. I've never asked for that. I've never heard anyone ask for that. Definitely not where I'm from.
It must be like a fucking. Like it's one thing of meat.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And I've never been anywhere that knows what the fuck this is besides Cincinnati.
I mean,
Never seen
yeah,
it
maybe
before.
that's more of like a Midwest thing.
It might just be
Honestly.
a Midwest thing, because like I want one so fucking bad. That's like
I
the
think
one
I've
thing I've
seen
missed.
those. I just have never like heard that term, like a steak hoagie specifically.
That's what they were
But
called.
that I've seen that sandwich before. It does look pretty friggin' delicious.
It's so well. It
I
used
could
to
probably
be
inhale
good,
that thing right now.
but like every fucking place that I would get it from started to change the recipes because they try to get cheaper, and now they're all
Yeah.
just not even as good anymore. But
Things
man, I
done changed.
fucking would love one of those right now.
Now I'm just starving. Now I'm
Yeah, I'm
literally
fucking hungry,
starving.
dude. I haven't ate today. I'm
Well,
hungry.
so where have we been? We started off with planes, then we went into religion, and then after that it was pets, and then
Double bubble.
then it was double bubble, then it was coronavirus, and now
Now we're
hoagies.
hungry.
Now we're just at the end of this all of this
Yeah,
fucking random BS. Now we're
Pizza
starving
Hut.
now.
I want to see how long it would take to get a pizza. Do you guys still delivery?
13
Like, do you guys
minutes.
still get delivery? I go pick mine up all the time now. It's too expensive.
Oh, I deliver every time.
I DoorDash all the time.
I don't. It's
DoorDash.
too expensive.
I used to do it a lot more than I do now.
How much do you tip?
I probably DoorDash like twice a week on average now.
How much do you tip
But,
per thing?
Oh, tip?
Percentage wise.
Oh, that's what you're asking. Like it's like it's like 15-20%. I think it's like 15% because a lot of the places are real close, so they don't have to like, you know, drive a whole hell of a lot. Like it's pretty standard. I mean, they set it up for you, and you just pick like the middle option.
It's always the middle option.
There's three
Always
options.
the
You can
middle.
either pay them a little bit less, a little bit more, or you just go with the standard like middle option they give you, and that's how that rolls. I like having shit delivered to me because I have kids and I don't like getting in a car, especially with them there and having to like drive to go pick up food.
That's fair.
I haven't done that in years. I feel like everything's been delivered to my privileged ass for like a little while now. I'm sitting here in my fucking castle.
Every time I
having
order
the
out,
peasants bring me my food.
I generally try to do in the 30 to 35% range tip.
Look at Mr.
Oh, I do that for
Moneybags.
restaurants. Yeah, no, at restaurants I tip way higher because there's a waiter that helps,
Yeah.
like directly fucking helps you. But with a DoorDasher, with someone who's literally just picking up your order and bringing it to you for like a 10-minute drive, you like you still end up for a $30 order. It ends up being like a close to like it's like an $8 tip basically. So it's still almost like a third. It's still almost like 30%.
Yeah.
But the larger the order, obviously, the more it goes up.
When you go to a
I'm tipper,
restaurant,
though.
when you go to a restaurant, what do you do if it's bad service? How much do you like? What do you do for the tip if it's like really bad service?
If it's obnoxious service, you give them like 10%. Like if it's
Even
bad.
that?
If it's like you shouldn't, if it's like you'll never go to that restaurant ever again because of how awful the experience
like
was,
that.
then you tip them even less than that. But if they're just like bad at their job, like either don't care or just like don't listen or whatever, then yeah, you give them like 10%. If they do their job very standard, like it's 20, and then if they go above and beyond that, then you give them obviously more than the 20. You give them like 30, 35. If they're like exceptional at their job, because then they deserve that tip. But you know what? I don't feel like I feel like if you're a shitty waiter or waitress, you're not entitled to a fucking good tip just because you're a waiter. You know what I mean? You got to actually do your fucking job like well and like care a little bit. I don't even want to get into it. I've had some shitty fucking service in my
Like I'm a
short life.
pretty generous tipper, but if you like like if it gets the shit service, like you're gonna get like 10 cents. Like I will literally leave like whatever's in my pocket, like the lowest denomination to tell you to go fuck yourself if you're
I don't think I've
actively
ever
like
left
terrible at
nothing,
your
though.
job.
Yeah. Have you ever left them nothing at all? Like, has that ever happened?
Yeah, this one bitch, I think we went to some restaurant. We didn't get like, I think it was like one of those things where like somebody else gets seated. Oh man, we lost your camera.
Shit.
Oh shit.
Well, hello,
Thought it was frozen for a
me's.
second.
Like where other people get seated before you for like, they don't take reservations, but for some reason other people get seated before you. Like they don't come to take your order for like 30 minutes or something. And then like they bring out the wrong shit and it's cold, like something just like
Yeah.
that. Like I'll actively like, all right, listen, I'll give you like 3 strikes and you're out. And then you're getting like fucking nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, you give them multiple chances. I think I went to this chicken restaurant like so long ago, but I remember it because of how shitty the service was. My buddy that I went with asked for barbecue sauce, and this was among like other things. Like she was just very like not there, very indifferent towards us, kind of just like, yeah, here's your fucking food, basically, and just like would walk
Here's
away.
your food, eat it and get the fuck out.
Yeah, so my buddy asked for barbecue sauce, and this bitch gave him the nastiest glare I've ever seen any waitress give somebody. He asked for barbecue sauce, and he's not being obnoxious, and he hasn't been asking for stuff all day. She turns around and is just like, yeah, I'll go get you barbecue sauce. It's like, yeah, those are the types of people you don't give fucking tips to. Those are the types of people that are
Assholes.
terrible at their jobs. I mean, you don't pay anyone for being shitty at their job. You fire people for being shitty at their job.
Yes. Like I've worked
Go get a
retail
different
and I
job.
will kiss ass. I don't even get tips, but I kissed ass just because I was trying to be nice. Like, you're a waiter. You're working on tips. You should be fucking good at your job.
Only if you were nice to your mods.
I hate you all. I don't pay
That's a
you.
jo-
You guys aren't getting
Oh my God.
paid.
You guys are slaves, basically.
Exactly. You guys are dumb.
Virtual slaves.
None of you are getting paid. I don't know why you're here. It's a sense of power.
I live by the philosophy of just being kind in general, unless people are not kind to you. Obviously, the golden rule of treating people the way you want to be treated, and that's how you get opportunities in life. It's when you're a dickhead to everybody or terrible at everything you do, and like blame other. That's like those are the types of people that fucking self-destruct and never get opportunities in life. It's when you're kind of like random people. That's how you get opportunities in life. It's when you're like just a good listener and you care and you. That's what I like to live by. Yeah,
pretend you like listen to their shitty story. Yeah.
You could potentially get laid just without even intending to. You just go to the store and you're just like chopping it up with the fucking cashier. You're just like, yo, how's it going? And then you're getting your dick sucked 15 minutes later. You never know.
And then they offer you the manager job.
Yeah, and then you own the store and then the whole chain.
Rise the corporate ladder.
For a 15-minute conversation.
All because you were a good noodle.
That's the moral of the podcast, boys. Be a good noodle.
In the off chance you might get your dick sucked.
Or get good service at a restaurant.
Either one. Have you ever just went to like a restaurant and just like ordered an appetizer and like the waiter's like, you fucking, this is the fancy, you piece of shit. You need to spend more money so I can make, like, you ever seen that? Like you just order something like really light and like the waiter's kind of like, you motherfucker. I'm not going to get a good tip because of this.
Yeah, that particularly, no, not with a restaurant, but with my car. You know how car payoffs work, where if you pay in full up front, then they can't like tax you and they can't make a percent. Like basically the way it works is like if you do like a monthly payment with a car, then you like they add interest, like a little bit like that. So I went into this fucking place. I was like a 19-year-old at the time, 18-year-old. This fucking guy, this dealer is like not expecting me to be able to fucking pay for half of what the car is worth, and then I paid for it in full, and then he was very it felt like he was genuinely annoyed with me. He's like, I'm not going to make a high enough commission because your fucking bitch ass bought the car.
Car salesmen, some of the scummiest people in the world.
Very manipulative too.
When I was searching for my car, dude, every car salesman, because I'd fucking walk in with a tank top and shorts and I look like a fucking bozo, and every fucking guy was trying to take advantage of me. It's like, dude, I could pay for I didn't tell him I could pay for the car in full. You never fucking reveal your hand. Why does it have to be like a fucking game, dude? Yeah. Fuck car salesmen. Like, because I went with Heather one time.
They're salesmen. They're manipulative.
Yeah. I went with Heather one time because we went to like Miami to look at this car. And we get there, and I'm like, no, it's just too expensive. They weren't coming down at all, and I was like, no, I'm not gonna spend fucking however much, 17 grand on this car. Like, maybe if you guys came down to 15, I could do 50. Like, I was like, I'm not doing this. I kept trying to walk, and they just kept like dogging on me. They're like, well, what kind of car do you have? I was like, oh, well, I have a 350Z I'm trying to sell and shit. They're like, well, this car is way better than that car. And they're like, well, what kind of car does your wife have? She's like a Jeep or whatever. And they're like, they just start dogging on her car, making fun of it. Like, well, Jeeps are fucking dog shit. They got shit gas. This car right here, great gas. They just start making fun of her Jeeps. It's like, what the fuck? Are you trying to get a sale, asshole? Or are you just trying to like one up me, you piece of shit? Fuck car salesmen. I hate them.
Probably all the above.
I think psychologically they were trying to feed into your ego, and
I'm the only one that can do that.
Yeah, I feel like walking into a car dealership is like walking into a fucking bee's nest. It's just a bunch of persistent,
you gotta come ready to
bees.
fight.
Oh yeah. No, it's not even a bee's nest. That's derogatory to the bees. It's lower than that.
A hornet's fucking. It's an underground hornet's nest that you can't even escape. You can't. Once you go in there, you can't even get out, and you just get attacked. I have really bad bee stories. Also, I've been
like
viciously attacked by wasps.
Bloodsuckers.
Dude, I don't get how people are scared of bees. I used to be when I was like literally a child, but I've been stung so many times now. It like doesn't even fit. I could get fucking stung 3 times by 3 different wasps right now and not fucking give a fuck.
Never.
I think it's hilarious when people freak out about bees and like getting stung. That's just like, unless you're like allergic.
Just
okay,
leave
that's
them
very
alone.
real.
They don't fuck with
like,
you.
If you're allergic to bees, that's a whole different thing. But
so honeybees up north, they're pretty cool. They're generally, you don't screw around with a nest and they'll leave you alone.
Mm-hmm.
We have Africanized honeybees down in Florida. And
I know what he's talking about. I made a video on this a while ago. Do you remember my honeybees were responsible for World War II video that I made as a fucking joke several years ago that I ended up deleting because it broke YouTube's terms of service?
How the fuck did that break YouTube's terms of service?
There was a lot of like Hitler in it and a lot of like misinformation in it. Yeah. It was like a joke video. Like, have you ever just made a? Have you made a total like that had nothing to do with zombies, like just a total fucking like goof fucking gag video that you ended up just kind of like regretting a little bit later, and you're just like, I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
I was in fucking school, and this was junior year, and my buddy was like, dude, like he was just like he's the ultimate like BSer, like he just says whatever the fuck comes to his mind first, and the first thing that came to his mind on this particular day, he goes, dude, what if like honeybees were responsible for World War II? And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then he started going on this like whole tangent, and then I was just like, that's fucking. I like basically stopped listening to what he was saying. I was just like, but this would be a fun video to make, you know, like.
And then you make it, and you're like, oh.
Because when he said that, I was like, what the fuck? So I was thinking like people are gonna look at my video and be like, what the fuck? And then click on it, and I thought I was gonna blow up, and like it was a total lie. It was like a string of lies and misinformation, and me trying to like make an argument that like the colonization of the Africanized bee, and like they had like a hybrid with like other aggressive bees that Hitler sent over to the States to like attack us and kill us during the war and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's like the synopsis of it. It's really fucking stupid. Doesn't make any sense.
Sounds really dumb.
It is. Hence why I deleted that video. That you didn't even know it existed, and that was probably better. But yeah, sorry. Weird tangent after weird tangent in this podcast. Just all over the place.
That's how it works, man.
Yeah.
Jumping from random shit. Hitler and Pizza Hut and
everything in this podcast.
When was Pizza Hut made? Because you could make the argument that Hitler created Pizza Hut.
Oh, dude, the Nazis created so many things that we take advantage of today. They created Fanta. If you like Fanta, you're supporting the Nazis. Volkswagen. Can't drive those. Nazis. A lot of our medical advances, a lot of the shit we know about, you know, human anatomy and stuff like that
1958
came from the Nazis mistreating people and experimenting on them.
Porsche was making tanks.
There's a lot that the Germans did that you don't even know about, so I think it's entirely possible that
Japanese
they bred an
were
army of
worse.
super bees to attack the Americans.
Don't forget the Japanese were worse. I'll die on that hill. Fucking evil.
Yeah, I think what they did.
Well, let me clear. I think the Japanese were more evil than the Nazis.
Okay, I get what you're saying. I
agree with that.
I know what he's saying though. I know what he's saying. He's saying that the Nazis were more meticulous and more scientific in their approach, and they were more about I'm not justifying this shit, by the way. You fucking lunatic watching this who's like, oh, Tim Henson. But hey,
Japanese were just I'm just gonna go fucking murder this guy.
I think, yeah, no, exactly. So the Japanese approach was a lot more barbaric, a lot more just like, we're gonna sweep through your land, rape and pillage, and like murder everybody. Whereas the Nazis were more or less just like granted, it was an entirely different war setting in a different part of the world, but like still, like a lot of the evil shit that they were doing was a little bit more like, it sounds awful, but it was a little more helpful for our modern day like medicine and stuff like that, like, because you know it wasn't good what they did, but the result of it was a little less horrible than what the Japanese did, which was just kind of like directly outright fucking
we're gonna see how many babies we can bayonet.
Yeah, like
toss them up.
That doesn't really help anyone in any way, shape, or form, I don't think.
So with regards to the war crimes that occurred, I think the difference is that the Japanese were pretty much a unrestrained warfare that, you know, was willing to burn whatever it came across, whether it be that, you know, civilians with children or POWs or whatever it may be. I would say it's probably closer to a fundamentalist or ideological war. What makes the Nazis so bad is that they kill. It's not just about the scale that the Germans killed.
6 million, really?
It's about the industrialization of it. The fact that, you know, you have a meticulous, it's not just a couple units or even just an army going through and raping and pillaging. That's been going on all throughout warfare. What the Germans did or what the Nazis did, and Germany's done great things to distance themselves from and try to atone for what occurred.
It was systematically evil, basically.
Yes, it's taking the industrialization of war crimes to the next level.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
You know, and really, I think the biggest testament to it is, you know, you have Holocaust survivors that, you know, when they were put in camps, they were numbers, not people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Versus, you know, the Japanese that they shoot, they bayonet somebody.
My people.
So here's the takeaway before we get canceled for real.
I'm Jewish. We can say all this.
Neither was
I'm Jewish.
Okay. Neither was good. Neither was ideal.
What he's really trying to say is Italy should have stepped their game up.
Yeah,
they were kind of the weak
way more evil shit than they did.
Yeah, they didn't really do that much evil shit.
Mussolini dropped the ball on that.
Fucking loser.
Mussolini got fucking killed and then hung from a flagpole, and then fucking his naked body got beaten in a fucking public setting. I'm pretty sure.
You can't be part of the...
Mussolini's departure from this world was an ugly one, dude. They did not like him, man.
It's kind of like, remember Gaddafi? They fucking stabbed him on the ass. Remember that guy, Muammar Gaddafi or whatever?
I don't know who that is, actually.
Well, the Middle East dictator from Libya.
Oh, okay.
They got a hold of him. They just kept stabbing him in the fucking ass.
Could you imagine if they actually got their hands on Hitler while he was alive?
Oh, he would have been raped. I would have raped. Would you guys have raped Hitler just to really put it to him?
Dude.
Yeah, that was a stupid question. Yeah, of course the answer is yes.
Dominant. No, if he were alive, like I said, what they did to Mussolini when they got him alive, it was like probably the worst imaginable death. Like not only like the way they did it, but like the fact that they did it publicly, like for everyone to see.
Yeah, get fucked.
If they caught Hitler alive after everything he was responsible for, I don't see a scenario where he wouldn't be publicly, like probably like literally chopped up, like or something crazy like that, like something that's like the most, like he'd probably be publicly murdered in the most inhumane way possible, right?
I could see an alternative,
or maybe he's still alive in Argentina.
He is.
I could
for all these years.
Still alive.
if Hitler was captured alive, and the first Russian troops that made contact with him didn't execute him on the spot, if he fell in possession of
you're good.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're good.
If he had fallen into possession of the NKVD still alive,
he would have been tortured out the ass.
I really do think that Stalin may have kept him alive and let him either go insane. He may have very well left him in solitary confinement in the worst conditions imaginable because, trying to have him suffer a fate worse than death. And given that Stalin, to his own generals, they had tortured during the Great Purges. There was one of his generals where they even had his fingernails removed. I would not have that be on Stalin.
Yeah, Stalin was an evil motherfucker too. Not a lot of people give him enough credit.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend. At the end of the day, you had an ideological war of annihilation between two opposing totalitarian dictatorships that were ready and willing to put human lives basically into the meat grinder, and whoever was the last man standing. And
wink.
The Russians lost 23 million over it.
I do think it's kind of funny. Like Hitler invades Poland, and so does Russia, but they choose to go to war with Hitler. I always think that's so funny. Like there's like, Russia, you're fine.
So the way that broke down though was like the Russians and the Germans wanted to get along, and then like the Germans
they were
like,
always
no.
gonna go to war. They was unstopped, like 100% gonna go to war.
Were fascists, and then the whole Hitler did not like communism at all.
They were always destined to go to war.
Yeah.
But they both declared war on Poland, and everyone was like, this Hitler guy is kind of a bigger threat. We need to take him out first. Because they always thought that the Russia would kind of just, it's Russia. Who the fuck, or the USSR.
Well, the Allies did seriously consider declaring war on Russia when they invaded Finland, but I haven't read up on my particular history on.
Let me link you a video about it. He does a really good job of explaining it, of like why they didn't go to war.
Stalin and his regime were responsible for 20 million plus deaths.
Oh yeah. And
20 million.
Those are rookie numbers. Gotta pump those numbers up, baby.
Now let's look up the famous Hitler.
Look up Mao.
Mao Zedong, my man.
Oh, Hitler 19.3 mil, so a little bit less, but he was also indirectly responsible for a lot more deaths just because of like civilian and soldier, or so basically what it says is Hitler and the Nazi regime were responsible for killing an estimated 19.3 million civilians and prisoners of war. In addition, 28.7 million soldiers and civilians died as a result of military action in the European theater. So like basically,
I don't count that because I count that kind of like everyone. Like that should be like the collective.
He was directly responsible for basically, 19.3 million deaths, and he never actually visited a single concentration camp like while they were active. Like he never actually, that's what the word is. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he never actually would go there and physically visit those. Well, Hitler, I don't think Hitler, I could be wrong. I just feel like he wasn't actually like there when they were being gassed and all those horrible things. Like, I feel like
he shows up and he's the one
he
like,
would go
right,
there
here to inspect the chambers.
That's probably just a baseless
got
fucking
gas
thing
mask,
I heard,
like
but
a fucking idiot.
I don't feel like he was very involved directly with any like I could be wrong. I don't know. I don't feel like he was killing people himself.
No, I feel like he just gave the order.
To do it for him.
He gave the order, then he had other people fulfill it.
It's murder for hire, basically.
It's kind of ironic that, Hitler of all people, it really kind of speaks to a testament of how he hated the groups that he persecuted, because Hitler himself was gassed in 1918, and it left a noticeable psychological mark on him for the rest of his life. It's a contributing factor to why Germany probably did not deploy chemical weapons during the war, with the sole exception of the gas chambers, where a chemical weapons program, sarin gas, turbine, and yes, it was most certainly a combination of allies having.
Your mic is fucking up. Now you can't even hear you now.
Dude, I'm pretty sure Stalin had his own fucking son left for dead too.
Yeah, like
I'm pretty sure
somebody got a hold of him, right?
Yeah, so he was at a concentration camp, and he was going to get killed, but he ended up killing himself because his dad didn't give a fuck at all.
Yeah, Stalin really only cared about his daughter.
So he didn't even care about his own family. You know what I mean? That's the type of person we're thinking about. Like he's not even like evil and selfish enough to like care about his own fucking son. Like,
yeah, Stalin's a piece of shit.
Jesus Christ.
I think
fucking imagine that.
It's commonly quoted that Stalin said upon hearing his son one of his sons attempted suicide by shooting himself. It's commonly quoted that he stated that the bastard can't even shoot straight.
All right, Stalin's cool in my book now. That's funny. All Stalin's sins are forgiven.
He
made it
must
funny.
have he must have hated his son. He must have been like a fuck up in his eyes or something like that.
Well, I think Stalin just hated everybody except for his first wife.
And his daughter was like his first wife, even though she fucking offed herself, and his daughter were like the only people he ever cared about. He didn't even care about his other son.
Yep.
Piece of shit. So we all agree. Stalin, Hitler, Mao.
I was literally about to say like
shit.
that's. I was about to say like how is that even possible? But we are talking about literally one of the most like evil people ever. Like let's be honest. So, I mean it's pretty understandable.
Shit. Hang on.
How could the average person do that? Oh yeah, that's Joseph Stalin.
So, hang on. Let's see.
Nah, but communism good, man.
the Mao Zedong, he launched a great leap forward.
Great success.
Yeah, the estimated deaths are anywhere between 15 to 55 million people between 1958 and 1962.
That is a tremendous range, though. 15 to 55. That's a fucking 40 million person range.
The reason for such a high range is because the poor records that were kept, and do you think the Communist Party would even acknowledge?
Right, yeah, they're always fibbing with those numbers. Always finding fucking ways to fib those numbers.
Yeah, do we really think that only like 2,300 people died in Wuhan?
No. No, that city almost got erased off the fucking map.
Yep.
Why do you think that is, though? Because it wasn't affecting other countries as severely as it was there. Do you think it's because it was ground zero, or do you think it was because... This is true, by the way. A lot of people in China smoke cigarettes. Like, it's a part of their culture, like men especially, older men, that, like, and they, you know, that's how you end up having respiratory issues, and that could have accelerated the rate of death there.
I think it maybe has something to do with the just lower quality of life. Like, we live in America, we got fucking clean water, we're fucking pretty, we got aspirin, ibuprofen.
Well,
that went right over my head. Yeah.
I mean, the Chinese, their government's barbaric, but they're not living in.
No, they're not like fucking back in the Stone Age, but it's like.
Oh, well, some of China is pretty fucking primal. Like,
no,
some of it's still very like.
It also could have been
primitive.
like it was new at the time, so they didn't fucking know what was gonna happen, and also they're gonna take the chance. If the government can take their chance to get more power and lock up, they're gonna fucking do it. So I think it was like a mixture. It was just like all those things combined.
The U.S. government, they probably had the same effect to our country. Once they got a taste of power, they had a hard time relinquishing it.
They don't give it back once they get it. There's no going back.
Once you go back, you're black. You can't go back.
Exactly.
All right, boys. I got about 3 minutes here.
End it up.
We could wrap it up.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out Tim Hansen. His link will be down below if I remember. If not, you know who the fuck he is. Episode 23. Check out the sponsored gamer subs. Use code crazy, get your 10% off. Thank you to all the Patreons. Tim's Patreon will be coming soon. Whenever that gets up, I'll link it. Any final words, boys?
Nope.
Yes.
Hail Hydra.
That is going to be edited. Somebody's gonna. Somebody's literally gonna clip Hitler